Raizin the Roof, presented by the Central Indiana Realtist Association, a local chapter of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Our mission is to build wealth through home ownership by enhancing economic development. We accomplish this goal by informing, advocating, and educating in the communities we serve. And now, Raizin the Roof.
Hello, I'm Shelley Specchio, CEO of Mybor Realtor Association. We support the mission of the Central Indiana Realtist Association to improve the quality of life for the underserved and enhance the economic development for the community. At Mybor, our leadership in economic and community development efforts directly impact the strength of our communities and promote the importance of homeownership for all. Learn more about how realtors strengthen our communities at mybor.com.
Welcome and thank you for joining us as we're raising the roof. These programs are designed to show you how to build wealth, generational wealth through home ownership. I'm Priscilla Russell, your agent with Hustle with United Real Estate here in Indianapolis. And my co-host today is...
I'm Dolores Kennedy, broker owner of B&K Real Estate Services, and I'm glad to be here today.
All right, thank you for just tuning in today. We're going to be talking about market insights, things that are going on in the real estate industry from our perspective. Now, we're going to be talking to you. We'd like to first talk to you a little bit about who we are. We are Central Indiana Realtist Association, and we are dedicated to serving the underserved. We're doing all that we can right now in the market to do that. One of the things we wanted to talk about today was the mortgage industry and what's going on with the mortgages today. And one of the things that we found is that interest rates are very, very good. If you've been trying to get a home, one of the things you may want to do is compare interest rates right now, because they're at a low that we are just happy about, because a customer that would be able to buy a $200,000 home with a 3% interest rate, maybe a year ago they was going to be buying maybe a $175,000 home. So with the interest rates, we are able to really monitor how our buyers and sellers determine how they're going to buy homes and what they're going to do. So how do you think about that, Dolores?
I think that we are in a good place for some sellers, and I think the housing market is kind of cooling off a little bit, because so that our buyers can they have a chance now. They have a running chance now, because they did not have that for quite some time. Because I mean, we were racing to look at the homes, but the homes weren't available for us. By the time we got there, they already had accepted offers on them. So this is it's a good time for both. I think a better time for sellers, and I think they still know it because they're still trying to play hardball. But I think it's going to cool off a little bit more, and our buyers are going to be better at getting homes.
Okay. Well, one of the things that we want to talk about as far as buyers and what they're doing these days is buyer preparation. One of the things that in this market that is so important is that the buyers get ready to buy, because we want to make sure you've got your loan in place and all the things that are necessary for you to purchase a home. So we wanted to sort of talk about that before we forgot to mention the fact that the buyers, you really need to do some extra homework. What do you think?
I do. I think that because what we don't want you to do is, because, you know, people will call and say, well, you know what, I see this house that I like, and I say, okay, have we been to a lender so that we can find out what you qualify for, what you're ready to purchase? And they'll say, no, but can I see this house? And you give me someone, and I'll call them. No, we need to do that the other way. We need to make sure that you're ready. We need to know that you even qualify for the house that you're going to see. And I have had people that have called me, Priscilla, and they'll say, I think I want to go see this house. And we don't want to think that we want to go see that. Number one, unless you're sure that that's an area that you want to be in, you want to be sure that that is an area that you want to be in, especially when you're going to be spending your money and living there. Okay?
Yeah, and one of the other things when we talk about buyer preparation, what we'll need you to do as buyers when you're talking to your agents, they can't do anything without your being approved. And we have to know that based on your information, that you are ready to start. And so that way, when your buyer says, hey, go to your mortgage company first, don't think they're trying to get in your business. They're just trying to get you ready, because what happens now is that when we go to look at a home, or you call us about a home, as Dolores was saying, then by the time we get there, it's time for the offers to be presented.
That's right.
Last week I made an offer on a home. It came on the market about 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock. We're trying to make an offer at 5 o'clock that afternoon. And next thing I know, I'm getting a call that the seller has accepted an offer. It was on the market 6 hours maybe. So that's why we want to, the buyers, we want to talk about buyer preparation, because nowadays you just got to be ready to roll. So when you want to buy a home or look at a home, we've got to have that piece of paper that says, hey, they can afford this much and they're ready to go today.
And they, you know what, those sellers, they want to be sure before they even look at your offer, they want to be sure that this person can even purchase my home. And they don't want to take it off the market, of course, because they want to be sure that they can do it. And I encourage people, as Priscilla was saying, is preparing even before you people get it in their minds. I think I might want to buy a house. I think I might want to upgrade. I think I want to downgrade or whatever. When you start doing that, you should start getting your affairs in order then, like making sure that you don't have anything ugly on your credit report, because those things pop up and you think everything is okay, and then next thing you know, there's some ugly stuff there and that you got to get taken care of. And when you see a house that you like and you're ready to make an offer, that's not the time to get that fixed.
No. And one of the insights that's really affecting these days is that homes are sometimes going over the list price. So a home comes on the market for $200,000 and we give them $200,000 and we're not even a consideration.
That's right.
Because somebody else gave them $210,000 and didn't ask them to do anything. And well, my buyers, they need help a lot of times, but right now I've had to ask them to go into their savings, into their 401ks, and see what extra things they can come up with, because that's just the market that we're in. And the other thing for buyers right now in this market is, another thing that we do is we do what we call a market analysis. So even if the house is going for more than the list price, we have to determine, listen, for you, your agent, as our agency, we're going to be looking at whether or not whatever price you're giving is a price that is great for you. So that's where the market is, and they're asking more money, but we have to also make sure that you know what kind of decision that you're making.
That's right, because the market is the way that it is. I had a client that when I was trying to let him know about how the houses are, they're going. He's always been one. This is his third house. He was one of the old school ones. You always go $10,000 or $5,000 under the list price. Yeah, this is the way. And when he says, well, this is what I want to offer, and I said, the market is not like it used to be. And he said, no, that's what I want to offer. And after this happened to him, after we had put in 3 or 4 offers, he saw the light. He's not doing that anymore. He says, "Do you think this is enough?" This is what he's saying
right.
now. His whole attitude has changed. But I'm glad because it lets him know. And I do the market analysis so that we can be sure that we're in line with what it needs to be. We don't want him to, give the farm away or, give everything away. We want to make sure that we're in line with not only what he's qualified for, but what the house is worth as well. So we want, and we want to be fair,
Yeah.
not only for my buyers. I'm sure those sellers are thinking of the exact same thing.
Yeah, because one of the other things that we have to talk about today is just our market insight is what's going on with inventory. Right now our inventory is about, somewhere about 28 days. Back in the day, we had inventory for 2-3 months, no problem. Now a home is staying on the market an average of about 19 days. That's an average. And I really think that's not really the number. I think it's gone off the market, and sometimes it goes off the market and it comes back on.
Yeah.
So I think those numbers are in there because my average is probably about 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
If I don't get that client out there to take a look at it, and that's really not something that they're going to get that day. So we have to consider all of what's going on, and that's what the market is doing. So we're looking at an average sales price now of about $254,000 here in the Indianapolis area. So that's up about 17% from last year. That's a lot of money when you think about a house that maybe sold for $235. Now you got to go up to $255 to get the same home. So this is part of what we want to make sure that the clients know, that when we're asking them to pay the full price if they can, and we can't negotiate a lot of things, that we're not doing it because we don't want to represent our buyers. We're doing it because we're trying to represent you as well as we can, don't you think?
Exactly.
So that's where we are. That's just where we are right now. So it's one of those things. It's going to change, we know, one day, but we'll find out soon.
Yeah, and it's even that way with new builds as well. We're crunching. Those things are, but I think that's cooling off a little bit, just a tiny bit. But we still need to keep that in mind when you're getting ready to buy new builds, because those are getting far and few betweens, and you're on the waiting list for so long. I was talking to Joe this morning, and I says they have a waiting list before the real waiting list. So we will be right back with Market Insights. We're going to tell you about what's all going on here in Indianapolis, so that we can get you ready so that you can buy the house of your dreams, but be ready to buy the house of your dreams. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Taylor, loan officer with First Merchants Bank, and I would love to help you with your first home purchase. We have a great program that provides a $7,500 grant depending on where you're purchasing and has a minimum credit score requirement of 600. Please call me at 317-566-7611.
Welcome back to Raising the Roof. Today we're talking about market insights, what's going on out there. And Priscilla was just telling us about the number of homes that we have out there, what our inventory is like, and people being prepared to go out to purchase their new homes. You just don't jump out there. You've got to be. There's some preparation that you need to do before you get ready to do that.
Yeah, some of the things that we were talking about was preparing the buyer for going out and getting that new home. And one of the things that we talked about was the fact that we want you to be sure that you're ready, that you're approved, and there's things that you need to do in order to get on that home ownership bandwagon. And one of the things that is of interest to us right now is that sellers are delaying selling their home. Now, one of the things that in this market right now as a market insight is that many people are delaying selling their homes because of different things, COVID and some of the things that have happened here in the last year or so. But actually, it's a great time to sell your home, especially for some of us, the seniors, that are looking to go to a different environment. And that's one of the other things in this market that we're seeing is that people are changing environments. And the other thing is that they're putting together homes and whole generational people are living together now.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where you can also, even as a buyer, when the mother, father, and the sons and daughters get together to purchase a home nowadays, so all of a sudden you can afford just a lot bigger and sometimes in a different kind of neighborhood home. Now, the other thing that we'll have to consider is in our market insights as we're looking at purchasing our homes of the future is Dolores was talking about before we left about some of the builders and some of the things that are going on right now that are different than they were even a year ago. So can you enlighten us a little bit on that, Dolores?
Yeah, what we found is that when we take our clients out to the builder and they would put us on a waiting list and they would say, well, we'll start building your house in 30 days or 45 days. Well, now you're on that pre-waiting list, probably 3, 4, 5, and as much as 6 months before you actually get on the list for your house to be built. And one of the backups was the lumber prices and having a hard time getting the lumber in. So it's not like it used to be where you could just go out and you could say, well, there's nothing already built, so I'll just go out and build one. It's not that easy. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to do either that you decide. But what you do have to have is patience. That's why if you start getting your ducks in a row, maybe by the time it's actually time for you to either build or purchase an existing home, you'll be ready.
That is so true. And one of the things that I thought was exciting these days is the fact that even some of the builders, they are even doing negotiating on the lots. I thought it was so interesting. I met with a builder with one of my clients last week, and we do a preliminary lot bid before you even can bid on the house and build a house. For example, they're going to be building 6 homes, and when those 6 lots come on the market, there's a premium. So it's almost like the homes that we're selling that are selling over the list price. So I thought that was very interesting. Of course, I couldn't say no because my buyers, they were not trying to not be on that list for those homes. But that's something that has never happened. I've been in this business over 30 years and I've never seen anything like that. So I thought that it was something we needed to talk about, because as you go out and you're looking at building a home, the good thing about building a home right now is it's going to take a little bit. So for those of us who have credit challenges and things that we need to work on, buyer preparation, then it gives us time to prepare for the future. What do you think about that?
I do. I think that's a great idea because many times, as I've said before, many times people have thought that you can just jump out there and okay, I'm just gonna do this or I'm gonna do that, and it's taking some time, and especially the preparation in checking your credit, making sure that you have everything ready for your credit, because as I mentioned earlier, sometimes there are things that can be on there that you don't know that's on there, or there can be things on there that maybe is not yours, but this will give you time to get all of those things taken care of, so it will be an easier road for you once it's time for you to, whether it's an existing or a new build out there.
Oh, Dolores, that's really great. So some of the other things that we can consider when we're looking at this from a buyer's standpoint is that we are talking these days about some wonderful programs that are helping buyers that couldn't buy 2 to 3 years ago, but we've talked with some mortgage companies now, and just for your insight into this, there are companies out here that will consider giving you a loan for a mortgage, and you don't have to pay what we call PMI, and that's private mortgage insurance. And what that does is it adds to your payment. And also you can use things like even paying your cell phone bill and paying your electric bill and your gas bill. And even now I find out that we can even use insurance that we paid before. So we can use a lot of these great things to prepare. So those are some of the insights that some people don't know, that you can use all of this information towards paying forward and buying your new home. So are there any other things that you thought of Dolores?
Well, one of the things, we had a lender that came on recently, and she talked about one of the things that you could use for an alternative credit is if you're in one of the extended stay hotels, you can use that as long as you're making your payments on a regular basis. And I'm sure that if you're in an extended stay or something of that sort, you have to pay every day or they'll lock you out, I'm sure. But this is one way, this is another way of alternative credit. But there are lenders that are coming up with some unique ways that people can be able to purchase, because I never would think that, using, living in a hotel, being in that situation, that you would be able to purchase a home. But just think of the advances that have been made, because you would have never thought that many, years ago, you would have to have an apartment where you've been making your payments and things like that. So these are good things for our buyers that, that are in those situations, that they can still move forward in being a homeowner.
And one of the other things that I thought was interesting with a couple of my clients is that all of a sudden, we got multi-generational homes where people are all living together because of the environment, because of the fundamentals of just money these days. And one of the things that we were able to consider was the fact that the son moved back home with the parents, and the son paid rent. And we could prove that he paid X amount of dollars every month for rent, and he paid the utility bill. So it's all these ways now that you can come up with to verify that you really are worthy of getting a loan. So those kinds of insights, a lot of people don't even know that they could do that. So if you move back home, pay your parents and make sure you document that so they know that you're paying that, and that this way it can help you go forward in your credit associations, because now mortgage companies understand that we live in a different world. So we have some of those out there that are really doing creative financing and holding you still to those lower interest rates.
And even if you're living at home with your parent and you're paying your light bill, the light bill or gas bill or whatever it is that they want you to pay, even when you may go out and be on your own, you still have that history that you can take with you when you decide that you're not wanting to live with your mom and grandma and aunts and all of that kind of stuff. So having that history, of payment helps you there as well, which is a great thing, I think.
And one of the other insights we want to talk about today is our home buyer certification class that Sarah is sponsoring, along with our other helpers, such as the Jean B. Glick Center, that are helping us to put together a class. And we're going to be able to give a certificate for those who attend the class. And when's that going to be, Dolores?
That is going to be, this session is 6.5 hours that you can get it's a HUD certification. So if you need to purchase a home and you need some classroom education, this will take care of that. And we will have a class that will be, our next class will be October 21st, and that is from 6 to 8 p.m. The following one will be November 18th. and that one will be from 6 to 8 p.m. And then we will have, and that will be 6 to 8 p.m. And then on November the 20th, we will have all 6.5 hours from 10 until 4:30 p.m. that day, and you can get all 6.5 hours. But this is a great way for you to get your HUD certification. This is NID, CIRA, Central Indiana Realtors Association, and the Faye Bicard Glick Center is having this workshop. And this will be at 71st and Michigan Road. If you have any questions about this session, you can go to Eventbrite to register. But if you have any other questions, you can call me at 317-710-3107. Leave me a text, and then I will give you a call back as soon as we can. But we appreciate you being here today, and I appreciate Miss Priscilla having the market insights, and that we will going to be right back and wrap it up. So we'll talk to you in just a second. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sherry Boudwin, a loan officer with First Merchants Bank. If you're thinking about buying your first home, give me a call. We have a no money down program and no private mortgage insurance. My number is 317-566-6123.
And welcome back to Raising the Roof. We want to thank you for joining us today and being with us on Market Insights and talking about the things that are going on in the real estate market and how you need to prepare to get ready for purchasing your home, whether it's a new or an existing. Do your homework. Look up a realtor that can help you through the process, like Miss Priscilla.
Yes, your favorite real estate agent. And we're glad that you attended this today, because one of the other things that we have to consider is the fact that we did a lot of talking about buyer preparation today, because we feel that that is the start. We're talking about home ownership and economic and home wealth, as far as building wealth through home ownership. And one of the things that we want you to remember today is that Sarah is going to be sponsoring a home buyer workshop, and also an ability to get your certificate that you'll need no matter where you go to get your mortgage, because they're going to want you to have a HUD certificate in the end. So that was part of the things that we talked about today. So I'm going to let Dolores give you that a little bit brief information.
They mostly want you to have HUD certification as far to show that you've gotten education in home ownership. And that class is going to be on November 18th. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. We're also holding an all-day class on November 20th from 10 until 4:30 p.m. We hope that you can make it. It will be at the Faye Bicard Glick Center, 71st and Michigan Road. If you have any questions, give us a call at 317-710-3107. Leave us a text, and we'll have someone get back with you. Also, you can register through Eventbrite. Have a great week. We thank you for joining us.